Welcome back everyone, this is MandoAllDay, back with another video, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at the DC vs. Vampires Volume 1 hardcover. We're going to be talking about a little bit of the story, the art, and if it's worth your purchase or not. But before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at the front of the dust jacket. This front of the dust jacket looks pretty cool. It has that matte look, but yet the characters are a bit glossy, you can see. Here's the spine. Here's the back, matte look, and then gloss. Let's take this off and let's see how it looks. So you got Batman, which looks really cool on this. The spine, and of course, the back, which is Wonder Woman. Alright, now let's talk about the story. So, mainly the story is about I'll say this. In this particular storyline is that vampires always existed within the DC universe. And so what happened is there was a specific person, which I'm going to be vague, that maintained peace within the humans and vampires. Meaning that there was a kind of like a mutual thing where this person controlled all the vampires and made it certain that no vampire is going to attack human. And as you progress with the story, something happens to this person, and eventually that treaty is no longer there, and now it's essentially the vampires versus the DC, or not DC in general, but the humans, I guess you can say, and they're trying to take over. And that's pretty much the premise of the story, and it sounds simple, because it is a very simple premise, but I gotta say though, even though it sounds simple, it is a lot of fun, man. I had a really good time with this story. The pacing is fairly quick, and the writing is really good. And what I like about it is it just gets to the point. It doesn't spin its wheels. It's just one page for the other. It just progresses the story each issue, and I really like that. And you get to see certain characters that turn into vampires or are becoming vampires, and that's really the fun part of the story, is seeing who's going to actually be turning a vampire, but more importantly, who's already a vampire, which that's kind of the really fun part, because they're trying to track down, the hero's trying to track down, okay, who murdered the person who was in charge of the vampires to maintain the peace. More importantly, who's in charge now. That's what they're trying to figure it out. And as you continue reading with the story, it's really surprising in finding out who is the main vampire leader and who killed the person. Again, I'm going to be vague, so I don't want to give away anything, because it is a short book. I mean, it's only 6 issues, but I gotta say though, even though it's short, it is a lot of fun. The story is really good. Like I said, the fun part is seeing who transforms into a vampire. And more importantly, you're kind of like, please don't. You want certain characters don't turn to a vampire, but I'm not gonna say who turns or anything, but certain characters do unfortunately turn into a vampire. But it's a lot of fun though, and that's what I like about this story. It's just fun. Simple premise, good pacing, good storytelling. And just overall fun, man. The art itself is good. It's clean looking. It kind of has a cartoony looks to it. While you can see it right here even more. It has a kind of a cartoon look to it. It's not bad or anything. It just has that look, which is not a bad thing for me. I like it. I think it looks good. It looks clean. But the art itself, in terms of actually the cover art, like stuff like this, just look really cool, man. But to me, like I said, the story is really fun, man, and I highly recommend it. I am gonna be getting volume 2 because I had such a fun time reading this story, especially towards the end. Finding out who is actually in charge of the vampires completely caught me off guard. I was not expecting that at all, and like I said, it surprised me, but it was so worth it because the build-up is really good, and that's what I like about it too. It builds up, and when certain characters turn, you feel for something. You're like, oh shit. Damn, like, that's, you know, that's one of my favorite characters, and he turned into a vampire. And at one point, the heroes turn on each other. We're like, no, you're a vampire. No, you're a vampire. And again, I don't want to spoil too much because this is a short story, but overall, what I've read so far, really good story. Highly recommend getting this book. Again, it's short, and look, it's going to be Thanksgiving weekend, and it's going to be a long week for some of us. So, you know what? If you have nothing else to do, apart from obviously enjoying great food, definitely read this, man. This is a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. You don't have to have prior knowledge. The only knowledge is just DC characters in general, meaning like if you know Flash, Green Lantern, and so forth, then you know you're perfectly fine. There's no prior like reading you have to do anything like that. No, just as long as you know who the main DC characters are, you're good to go. And like I said, highly recommend getting it. It's a lot of fun. Thumbs up from me. Fantastic book, man. This is a really fun read. I really had a good time. I highly, 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 highly recommend getting DC vs. Vampires Volume 1. Let me know what you guys think. Have you read this book? Do you plan on reading this book? Leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to not support channel, but to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So that concludes an overview of DC vs. Vampires Volume 1 hardcover, and on to the next one.